everyone. Welcome to another episode of This Week in Wrestling, brought to you by the RTP Wrestling Channel. I'm your host, RTP Ant. And to the right of me, man, we're doing it online today. RTP John, Jungle Boy John, as I called him pre-show. John, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be trying out this new medium, doing this online. We got a lot to talk about today, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
A
thinking
lot of really good wrestling.
the reason we're doing this online is because we like to have our videos out on Sundays. Obviously, there's an AEW pay-per-view last night, and I wasn't home, so I had to rewatch it. I think you had to rewatch part of it too. So we have to, we got to go live. We got to get it out. And next week will be the same thing because I'm going to be in San Diego for Survivor Series, so no late night recording. Again, hey, I might – okay, this is what I'm going to do. All right, I was going to save it as a surprise. But if you guys run into me somehow at the show, right? And I know I'm speaking to a wall right now because we don't have the biggest audience. But if somebody out there is going to the show, I got a lot of these Dominic Mysterio cards. And we're going to be in San Diego. He's going to be on the show fighting John Cena. So I'll give out – I have 5 of them. I'll give out 4 of them. I still got to keep one. So if you guys see me in San Diego, come say what's up and I'll have a card for you. Just got me up and I got you. John, how'd you feel about wrestling?
I think I gotta show up now. I gotta go. I'm just gonna go show up to the front and not even gonna have a ticket. I don't have the money to go see the show, but I'll show up at the front and be like, "Hey, give me that card. We're gonna drive back home."
No, you're taking it away from our viewers, John. It's selfish of you, man. I've honestly, I was so addicted to buying those cards, but I've had to chill lately because my money is getting kind of tight now. So I'm like every time there's something in wrestling that I'm like, fuck, I gotta buy that card for it. I get kind of mad, or I'm like, damn. Like John Cena winning the belt from Dom. That was the point where I was like, all right, I gotta chill. So I would have bought a card in a previous life, but not in this one.
Yeah, I mean, like explaining that as a tax write-off gets harder and harder as the years go on, right?
That's for sure. So I think we kick off this show talking about Raw and SmackDown, and then we'll go into AEW Full Gear, and then we could wrap it up with NXT. There's not much from NXT to talk about, but
don't really need to talk about Dynamite or Collision either. It was just it was a build-up show. I don't mind the build-up shows being longer than the regular shows. I actually don't mind that at all. I think even Raw and SmackDown could probably take from that a little bit, but not really a lot of movement happened. There was no surprise swerves on the go home show. There was nothing really crazy, but yeah, so I don't think we really need to talk about Dynamite and Collision.
The one thing I will say about Dynamite and Collision, I liked it, like you're saying, as a build-up show being longer because I don't watch Collision every week. So having that extra hour be technically Collision and seeing some guys who are typically on Collision, like if you're already watching Dynamite, you're like, I might as well watch the extra hour for Collision. I like that. Yeah. I honestly think they could benefit from making that a full-time thing instead of having 2 shows. But yeah,
combine the shows, don't have a brand split, almost like what WWE should do at this point, because there's really they're all on each other's shows anyways. So like,
there's literally
what I mean?
Split in AEW though, because like Collision superstars are just kind of like building up to Dynamite, when I'd rather just like see them on there and the other guys could wrestle on pre-shows. But let's talk about Raw. Let's jump straight into Raw because there was a lot to talk about on this show. It's kind of wild to think that we haven't had an episode since Dolph Ziggler returned. I feel like we talked about that, but we didn't.
Yeah, and it was a while ago too. Yeah,
that was the headline from the show. Dolph Ziggler returns on Monday Night Raw. Everyone's talking about it. When he walked out, I was watching with my brother, and I was like, they literally just booked Dolph Ziggler because he's going to take the nastiest Samoan spike, and that's exactly what happened.
Yep, that front buckle bump, dude. So we're learning how to like take buckle bumps and stuff like that, and it hurts so much when you do it even kind of wrong. But he like does it wrong on purpose, so it looks like it hurts. And I'm sure it just does hurt. And he's just like, I'm just gonna thug it out. Where's the camera? All right, we're hitting that buckle straight throat to buckle. Like that was insane. And it does suck to see Dolph Ziggler just returning to do his same thing, jobbing out to mid-carders. But I don't think this is going to lead to a signing, unfortunately. I think maybe they'll go the Joe Hendry route, where they'll keep featuring him on NXT, see if it sticks, see if he can, like, see if Dolph Ziggler can hang as a wrestler, which is such a funny thing to say because he can probably outwork the entire roster. He regularly does. I mean, no one's sold like that on WWE television in how long? That was incredible. The dude could have been Shawn Michaels if Vince knew how to book him.
Dead ass.
Like, seriously. Yeah, I was very excited to see Dolph back.
I was too. I don't think it'll lead to him getting as much of like that NXT love as Joe Hendry does because he pretty much has the money in the bank right now in TNA. Like he's a TNA superstar, It was just kind of an easy pop. That's how I looked at it. I didn't want to see Dolph Ziggler or even like I would have liked to see Matt Cardona win, but I wouldn't have liked to see him beat LA Knight. So like those guys are exactly like you said, like they just job out to mid-carders their whole WWE career, so they can't come back and like beat LA Knight, beat Solo, who are kind of guys that also need wins,
Yeah, and honestly, if you are going to job out, do it during the John Cena tournament, not to like if Dolph Ziggler came back and lost to like Shinsuke or something, like that would hurt. That would hurt a little more, and Solo has some believability as well. The Matt Cardona one too, actually, in hindsight, was exactly the right move having LA Knight win, because imagine if it was Matt Cardona versus mystery opponent with Sheamus being out. Like, that would have been the weirdest, which is exactly why WWE doesn't release their brackets in case they can't get someone to the dance. You know what I mean? They'll just make it as they go. Because if it was Matt Cardona that won, they probably would have just switched it around and had a better matchup for LA Knight for the mystery opponent.
So who do you think the mystery opponent's going to be? Because like this is
I have no fucking clue anymore. I have no clue. I texted you like maybe someone like Jeff Hardy, another TNA guy. Maybe they'll just straight up call up. They'll just call up an NXT person. Maybe they'll just be like, fuck it, Obafemi.
That'd be
even though he shouldn't lose, he should not lose to LA Knight. That's the thing. That's what sucks, is that if you're going to call him up with the NXT guys, I think you should be ready to pull the trigger on them getting over if you're going to call them up.
I don't think it's going to be any NXT guys, and let me tell you why. NXT is building to, like, obviously Stand and Delivers their like WrestleMania pay-per-view, but Deadline is their like this is pretty much their Royal Rumble type of pay-per-view where they have a sick-ass match stipulation where it's pretty much a 5-man 25-minute Iron Man match with a penalty box. Like, it's just like the most insane match you'll see. And on Gold Rush, this will be all I want to say about Gold Rush so we can get this out the way now. They pretty much teased Trick Williams being in that match. They teased Miles Bourne being in that match, who I could have seen being a call-up. And then they also teased Obafemi versus Ricky Saints. So all those guys have something tied up. I don't see Oba getting called up. I wish, but yeah, like you said, LA Knight's too big of a name to be like I just feel like he shouldn't be taking losses to build anybody up right now. He should be going up to that next level. And
and if Oba comes in, I would really, really want him to win. I just am thinking like, what would be a big surprise? Like, I can't even think of anything like a treat. Vince McMahon. No chance. That's what you actually, honestly, Shane McMahon loves getting involved when he shouldn't. I don't know.
I don't think.
Did you see the Tony Khan interview, by the way, with Ariel Helwani? Because he confirmed that Chris Jericho is still signed and said he's still going to be here. And then he said Edge kind of seemed ambiguous. He's like, I believe he'll make the right decision, is like kind of how it sounded. But Edge is still signed, is what we said. So I know it won't be either of them.
Did you like?
I don't think Tony Khan would be. He was kind of weird at the end. I don't know. Tony Khan went Tony Khan at the end, but the first half of it was good.
Okay, I'm scrolling through the roster right now, right? I think the big surprise would be Theory.
RVD. We could still have RVD.
I think it's too late. I'm off the bus. I don't think you like.
What if you're right? You get off the bus and it's RVD and you're like, well, fuck me.
You don't use RVD as a backup. I think like Theory would be a cool surprise. I think Chad Gable would be a cool surprise. I mean, he could come back as whatever, you know.
I mean, Chad Gable, he hurt his shoulder, right?
Yeah, I thought they'd bring it back by the Rumble, but I could see them rushing somebody back for for
If
the
anybody could, it would be him because I bet you even through the injury, he was still in great shape. Like
Fatu. It would make
I,
sense.
that would make sense, especially yeah. Honestly, it would still make sense. It would be a storyline for LA Knight going out of that too. But I don't
Yeah,
want to see either of them lose. That's the thing. They need to have someone that would be a sure shot loss. I feel
yeah,
like for LA
and
Knight, like if it's going to be LA Knight losing, put Fatu in there because I just don't see LA Knight beating Fatu. That wouldn't
that
be believable unless it's like distraction.
it makes me feel like it's just gonna be a jobber. Maybe that's how they get our truth in it.
Hurricane
Because
Helms,
remember
Hurricane
our
Helms, bro.
we both went the same direction. We just went with the same type of guy. Our truth and Hurricane Helms. But I think one of those guys would make a lot of sense
Yeah,
because he's
honestly,
that's gonna
I
lose.
think maybe Ron Killings makes an appearance again, and it's an actually really good match between R Truth and LA Knight, and it's like more serious, not just like a squash, you know.
Yeah. Or
I
JD
like that.
McDonough. What if they run the JD McDonough took John Cena's last pin, so he wants to get in the tournament and then he loses to LA Knight? We see a BFT on that big fucking head.
Dude, you know he'd sell that so good too. Just like the
He would hit
spike
a headstand.
BFTs.
He would hit a
Oh my
head
gosh,
for sure.
I know that on SmackDown. I can't wait to talk about the Ilya and JD McDonough match, dude. That shit was so good. That
Yeah,
was so good. That
it
was
was
so
great.
good. Big old fucking noggin, but we'll get to that.
Let's finish up on Raw then, because there's only a couple things that I think mattered, and I think
I
the
think
next.
Gunther and Javon Evans. We got
Okay,
to
let's
talk
go
about that.
there. Then. That match did not disappoint.
No,
Absolutely everything we could have expected from that match. I watched that match with my brother, who isn't really familiar with Javon Evans, but obviously watches Gunther matches, and he was just rooting for Javon the whole time. And I honestly, they had me. They had me. I thought they were gonna do it.
they got you.
They got me. I thought they were gonna do it. I was like, "Oh, Javon Evans is winning the tournament." That they're setting up this whole NXT versus main roster thing. You have an NXT guy versus John Cena in the main. Ah, man, that was
I
amazing.
think we're getting like some of the best matches we're going to see in a long time with this tournament. Like this match was so good, and Gunther coming back to his old theme. That is like such a good song. I That's like one of my songs that I have like a classical playlist when I'm in the gym when it's raining. I just want to be like real mysterious. I'll put like classical music on when I'm hitting a lift. I'll go to like the outside area and I'll have like that song is part of it. And I always hated Gunther's Gunther, dun 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 Gunther. And it's like it's so stupid. I hated that song. So him just doing the full song, the full symphony, just playing through, like I liked it a lot. I think Gunther came back and showed everybody, like, guys, I'm like one of the best people here. What do you guys must have forgotten. And yeah, the way he sold for Javon Evans was beautiful. And it really, to me, it looked like it was a masterclass in Gunther being a ring general in the actual sense of a ring general, the person calling the match, keeping the pace of the match, and doing all that different stuff, making sure that the story is being told. And the story was told, and they got you. I was like, there's no way Gunther's losing on his return match, which is why I never really popped for the fake outs. If anything, if the NXT guy is going to beat Gunther, I think Carmelo Hayes could.
Be cool.
Um, that could be cool. That's a little sneak peek for later on, but that was a great match. The chops were crazy. Everyone knew it was going to end in the rear naked. The rear naked choke. It was going to end there. But I love Gunther. I'm so happy he's back, and I'm happy he's no smiles, no nothing, just walking to the ring, kicking ass, and leaving. It's
My
great.
only knock on not even this match, but I feel like the effect on this tournament is I feel like we all know Gunther's gonna win the tournament. And I just
Which is why I hope Carmelo Hayes somehow wins, just to swerve us,
it'd be
just
cool,
to swerve it.
but what sucks is them fighting in the second round. Like if it was Gunther and LA Knight in the championship and LA Knight somehow won, I feel like people would be mad about
Yeah.
that because it'd be like, okay, well, we wanted Gunther. But if it was Gunther and Carmelo Hayes in the championship of that and Carmelo Hayes somehow won, that would be huge because people want to see Carmelo Hayes, John Cena too. So I
Yes.
think that's my knock on this. And it's not even on this match. It's just on the way the tournament's kind of unfolding. But yeah, shout out Javon, man. Javon being 21, main eventing a show in Madison Square Garden. His main roster opponents have been Gunther and Randy Orton. Like,
Insane.
and he's fought. No, he didn't fight the Hardys.
And he's
Anyway,
hung too. Like no did he?
that was actually crazy. You did not have to say that.
I was gonna say he hung with them too, is what I was gonna say, but I stopped because I thought it'd be funny. He hung with them perfectly fine. He kept up. He like
And he's hung. Your boy is hung.
I'm not. Did you see the no? He kept up with all of them. He ran great matches with all of them. He's 21. I
Yeah.
mean, this guy at Dominic Mysterio's age could surpass his achievements if he's pushed right. You know, like he's got all the time in the world to be like a five-time world champion. You know, I'm excited for it. I don't really know what they're gonna do with him on the main roster if they decide to stick him there because they don't really like to book smaller guys like that unless they have a really really good feud in mind. I just don't know if the timing's right now.
I agree. I think I would love to see him get a call up with Leon Slater as a tag team, and then you just put out bangers every week. That's if they call him up, that's going to be his role. I still think he should have been the one to beat Obafemi because him having the NXT title right now would be adding to that. We know what he's going to be in the future. But yeah, I mean, shout out Javon, man. Another young person who ended up winning this week was Maxine Dupree beating Becky Lynch. This is very interesting. I think personally, I get you're setting up the Becky AJ feud, and I get it doesn't need the title as well. But is Maxine gonna hold this title for is she gonna make it through the year?
It's dumb. I like it a lot actually, but it's dumb what they're doing. I can for me, I see the angle. They're gonna have AJ beat Becky, but AJ's not gonna stick around, so they don't want to have the title on AJ. So let's
Yeah.
take the title away from Becky, so Becky can lay down and take the pin with AJ after War Games. This kind of ties into my theory later. We'll get more into that once we get to SmackDown. But everyone knows the women's War Games match is just going to be fueling the feud between Becky and AJ and fueling the feud between Charlotte and Rhea. And that also ties into why I think the men's and women's War Games, I think, are going to mirror each other in a way. I'll explain later. But yeah, I think they're just trying to get the title off of Becky. So when Becky takes the pin to AJ and AJ disappears because Becky breaks her arm or something like that after the match, does the disarmor or whatever, right? And just freaking kayfabe takes her out for 5 months, 6 months because AJ Lee has other aspirations outside of wrestling. This isn't the only thing she's doing right now. Yeah. That's why I think they have Maxine doing it. And I think Maxine genuinely has improved so much. And her match was great. The match was actually really good.
Yeah.
And Maxine does that thing. I think she's learned from the Alpha Academy genuinely because Tozawa, don't fuck with Tozawa. He's actually legitimately one of the best wrestlers. We're talking about skill for skill. If you look at Tozawa's older stuff too, that dude can.
His older stuff is insane. His cruiserweight,
he's insane, and the fact that he's just getting pinned, and he's just the funny Asian guy on WWE TV, and Otis as well is another animal too, and Chad Gable. I mean, you and I both love him. She's obviously learned how to feel the crowd and know where to move and know how to sell and everything. She's great. I'm happy with the win. Make it like a Jey Uso title win. You know what I mean? 3 months. Give her the title for 3 months. Maybe she squeaks out a couple genuine, honest wins, and then loses once Becky loses to AJ. And then maybe AJ comes back in a few months and is like, I want the title. And that's closer to WrestleMania. Yeah, exactly. And then AJ loses to Becky. Becky retains the title at Mania. That's if we're talking really early Mania predictions, that's what I think they're going to go. I don't think they're going to put
I have a different approach. I have a different angle. I think we had a promise made before a guy left, and I think this is setting up towards that. I think we're going to see the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile win titles, and I think Maxine Dupree is just a bridge for Ivy Nile to get the strap. We're going to see the Creeds beat AJ and Dragon Lee, and then Chad Gable is going to come back and he's going to have a faction of everyone holding straps. That's where I think they're going to go. And then I think when Chad Gable comes
Just
back,
distance the title. Yeah.
yeah. When Chad Gable comes back, everybody loses their titles, and then they blame Chad Gable. We get Chad Gable getting turned on, and we get babyface Chad Gable on the road to WrestleMania. I think that's what everybody wants. I would love to see that angle. I think both are very real possibilities, though, because if Maxine, who is a real person Maxine could defend this title against, and you would feel good about her winning?
I think since she has that like kind of almost gymnast-esque style, I think her and Tiffany Stratton could have a good match. Do I think Maxine should win that match? No. Could I see a world where they book her winning? Possibly, depending on the finish. You know what I mean? Like, I think all of her wins will kind of be like the Jey Uso wins, where there's some form of distraction in there. WWE likes to do that, give undeserving wins to people who get distracted. Like, if Tiffany Stratton is going to be feuding with somebody else, that person will come in and distract in the match, cost her the title. Maxine gets the win via heel tactic, but just opportunity. Like, you know what I mean? It would be stuff like that. And I honestly don't think she'll defend that much. The WWE doesn't really treat the women's titles in general with respect. The only one they've started doing that with was when Becky had the title, and then the tag titles.
They got to keep this title hot, and that's
why like recent. You know what I mean?
That's why I think Maxine shouldn't have this title. I just think it kind of cools it off, unless you have Maxine shifted over to Roxanne, which I could see an AJ Lee Becky angle coming from a Roxanne title, or you shift it over to Roxanne and you run Roxanne versus Liv Morgan. Like I think Roxanne would be the person to keep the title hot, while also, you're not giving it back to Becky because Becky's the only one that could do it. Let's head over to SmackDown if you're cool on Raw.
Do it. I'm good. Nothing else really. There's that big. Actually, no. There is the big brawl where Lesnar returned and Roman returned, but everyone expected that. We knew it was going to happen at some point. It was just a big schmoz. And who stood tall at the end? It was division, right? I think they ended with their hands in the air.
I think it was Roman.
Oh, was it Roman?
Yeah, because Brock.
Or am I jumping? I think I'm jumping time. I think I was thinking of
SmackDown.
Yeah. But that was whatever. I mean, we've seen that a million times.
So our next video coming out on Wednesday is going to be our Survivor Series bold predictions. So we could kind of save that for that, because I do think a lot of the easy stuff, like a lot of the War Game shit is easy. It's the other stuff. Even like Survivor Series does not look like a great pay-per-view. I mean, like, you have the names on there, and I think there's going to be moments because you have all these big names, because that's what WWE likes to do. But I would love to see like one good wrestling match booked. Like, is that too much to ask for WWE? I don't know. But let's go to SmackDown.
For real.
The only thing I really wrote down for this was Ilya versus JD, because that was the only thing I really cared about. I had like sort of nostalgia.
What about Bronson and Carmelo?
A good match.
I like to see it just ended in bullshit. That's the only thing, is that I'm like, of course.
It's like I don't really care about what they're building right now. Shout out AEW, because AEW has been absolutely cooking, and we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna get us there soon. I'm gonna fucking rush us through SmackDown because I want to talk about AEW. But
yeah, I'll just say that the one thing that I have, DIY Fraxium was boring. It was a good match, a good wrestling. I don't care about the storylines going on right now. It's hard for me to engage. Penta versus Finn Balor. Who wants to see Penta versus Cena? Absolutely nobody. But Penta's great. It was a good match. Finn Balor always kills it. Part of me died a little when Finn lost again, but
But you could have like predicted.
I'm not even going to remember this was a match in the bracket, if I'm going to be honest, like next year. You know what I mean?
Which is sad, because what sucks about this tournament is like it should be an excuse to get great wrestling, and you give two guys like that and you kind of limit what they're allowed to do, and you only give them 20 minutes. Yeah. Like Finn Balor versus Penta should be a 40-minute banger, but they just
that should have its own storyline and build up. It shouldn't just be thrown on a fucking tournament. Yeah.
WWE just doesn't have that in them, honestly, under Triple H. Not to hate. Sorry. So I'm not a hater.
And Ilya Dragunov is still the best thing to happen to SmackDown in a very long time. Like, legitimately, like when I'm scrolling on TikTok and I say if I miss SmackDown, the first thing I'm looking up is the match. Is the Ilya match. That's like literally always the first thing I'm looking up. to watch it. He's great. I'm so happy he beat Sammy. I was sad when he beat Sammy, but in hindsight, I'm like, that was the best move they've done in a long time, was having this open challenge. And JD McDonough, for a mid-carder, man, he sure works like he wrestled like it's WrestleMania every time he's out there in a solo match. It's crazy.
We're probably gonna do at the end of the year like awards or something like that. And I think in Ilya Dragunov's 3 month like of the year, I guess he has an argument for Wrestler of the Year. Like I can't think of a.
We should do a Mount Rushmore of the year when it comes to matches, and I literally think a few of them will be Ilya matches.
What wrestlers are better than Ilya in the world right now? I think the only
in the world,
I think you could argue Hangman, but I would probably take Ilya.
No,
Takeshita.
Ilya is more technical.
But that's just not what wrestle. Like, you know, there's a little.
But he does everything good, and he's so technical. He's so precise with every single thing he does that, like, if you went into a chain wrestling sequence with Hangman, and like a real storytelling going on, I guarantee you, Ilya, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't think it's just different styles too. That's the thing. Hangman doesn't really do that.
I like about both of them is I love wrestlers with energy. You know, when you get that, when he hits the H-bomb and he just lays on top of them, I see that in Hangman too. I think I'm not gonna let that fly. I think those two. I think if I'm talking wrestlers, not just wrestling, right? Moxley, I think, is probably the MVP this year. Just from start to finish.
His storyline is cooking, man. Our previous episodes are gonna age well in a weird way. Of like, man, he's taking all these submissions and it's coming into fruition. Everything is about to click into place with the Death Riders. That's what I really want to get to. So we talked about Ilya, JD. That shit was great. Let's go to. I think we should go to Full Gear because that was Full Gear.
Honestly, from top to bottom, and I feel like I say this after every AEW pay-per-view, but I think this was the best wrestling show of the year. Like
AEW has just been great.
Other than Statlander, Mercedes Moné. I thought this show was amazing wrestling, and the problem AEW pay-per-views usually have is they drag, and I felt like every match was timed very well in the show. Nothing felt like too insanely long. Let's start with, I guess, the first match, first full match of the show was Pac versus Darby Allin. You watched that full match. Talk to me, bro.
There was El Sky versus the Don Callis thing in the beginning that kind of bled over into the main show.
It didn't work for me. When I was trying to watch it, it just wasn't working. But
I caught up on YouTube or in TikTok. I have some people that like post full matches like right when they happen. So I watched that because I was like, it was weird. It wasn't working. So I had that problem too. That was a great match though. I cared more about the Mark Briscoe stuff later on than I really cared about this precursor kind of, you know what I mean?
We have to get
but Pac versus Darby, dude. Holy shit.
Chef's kiss.
Dude, I was like, I need to contact my doctor and get on steroids now. Look at those shoulders. Jesus, dude. Yeah. It's like his shoulders are almost as big as his fucking head. I'm not even kidding. Like his shoulders are huge. I was surprised Pac won.
I was too.
Really surprised.
I thought
I did not see that coming.
I thought it was gonna lead into everyone on the Death Riders winning except Jon Moxley. That's what I was hoping for.
No, I knew he was gonna lose. Yeah, actually, you know, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw he won, I was like, oh, Mox is losing tonight.
I thought everyone else
I knew it as soon as that happened.
Even watching, not to jump the gun too far, but even watching the Casino Gauntlet match, I thought Claudio was gonna win the new title. I thought Marina Shafir was going to win that 4-way tag match. I just thought everybody was going to win except Moxley, and I thought they were going to turn on Moxley at the end of the night. That's what I thought.
I popped at Ricochet winning that shit, though. Not, like you said, not jumping the gun. But when Ricochet won, I was like, what? Like, it blew my mind. I was so happy.
Is that when you watched the whole match or watched part of the match?
Yes, I watched that because I thought it was going to be longer. And then it just ended.
Ricochet is one of the best, like, traditional heels in wrestling. I have to give that man credit.
He's such a, like, and then it felt like Evolution when they lifted him up on the shoulders. And it was like that Randy Orton heat. Like, you just hate his face. I don't know what it is.
You hate him. You don't want to see him win, even though he's so funny.
but it's so good now. I was giggling. I was like, okay, so I don't want to get too out of order. There was, but anything from the Darby Allin match you want to talk about?
Great match. That's all I really have to say about
It's
that.
a great match.
Just a great match.
It was a traditional match, really. I mean, it ended in bullshit, which every single wrestling promotion has been doing that way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much. Way too much. Just let people lose. It's okay. Because if everyone loses more often, a loss doesn't feel as bad. That's the thing. Not everyone needs to be a superhero.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They didn't.
This could just be more competition.
I think Darby though is a guy that they probably should protect because I can't see a world where Pac beats him clean. You know, I actually think
they could have sold the injury more, like the burns.
Yeah, the Indian.
You know what I mean? Like if he. Oh, do you know why they did that though? Right?
No,
because he had the burns from the match from the table spot. So those were his actual second-degree burns that he was Indian burning, which is why it was so. Like, if they leaned more into that and made the injuries more apparent, they could just do what they did with Damian Priest and Aleister Black, where Damian Priest and Rusev, where his eyes were kind of burned a little bit from the Priest match, or from that Black match. And then that's why he lost, is because he kind of had compromised vision. Yeah. Like, they should have just done that and not had the bullshit. Just lean into the injury. Darby Allin's so crazy. He got these third-degree burns. Just juice it up. And then had him lose. You don't need to have the crazy distraction finish or the bullshit disqualification every single match. But he didn't tap. He didn't tap out. And Mox did. Yeah. That's how I knew. I was like, it's over. I was like, these Death Riders, they're circling the drain. At least Jon Moxley and the Death Riders is circling the drain. The writing was on the wall there for me.
Yeah, I think we could easily transition over to this 4-way tag match now. This match wasn't super amazing.
It was very good.
It was a good match.
I liked it.
You know, I just think when I compare it to everything else on the show, it kind of just like fits in, which is nothing wrong with that. But I was very interested in the winner because I thought that it was for sure going to be the Sisters of Sin and they were going to do some nasty first blood picking of the match. But Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa winning, I think they're going to come up with something funny. Like, it's going to be a funny ass match. Whatever it is. And I thought this was a very interesting angle for them to have the 4 tag teams fight and the winner pick I just like stuff like that, man. It's just simple. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't need to overcomplicate it and keep people off the card or anything like that. Or this is just a creative way to do it, and it keeps your weekly TV going. You can keep it coming.
The dogs are barking. I'm just gonna mute for a sec.
That's kind of where I was at with that. I'm hoping they kept teasing that chicken coop match. And I don't know if they're going to end up going with the chicken coop match, but I just want to see Toni Storm and Mina pick something funny. I think that's where I'm at with that. Did you have anything else to say, or you want me to move on to the next match? You can give me a hand signal if you don't want to unmute.
So for the 4-way match, I thought they just beat the crap out of each other. I thought it was a very good match. It was a lot of strikes, a lot of kicking, and I actually prefer that than big setup spots and stuff like that.
I agree.
Toni Storm getting her win back after verbally quitting was good, since she did lose and was like, no! Getting her win back was good. But in hindsight, like, if I rewatched the whole pay-per-view, pay-per-view, sorry, this is not WWE, it's not a PLE. The pay-per-view, when you watch it back, I think that match isn't going to age as well because, like you said, everything else that came later as well just kind of made it not look as good. But at the time, I was only 2 matches in, really. I didn't really watch the Don Callis. So the second match, by the time you get there, you're not exhausted yet, and you're not like. But in hindsight, this could have been on Dynamite.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it could have been on Dynamite in hindsight. However, really enjoyed the match. Thought it was great. They just beat each other up. It was good, you know.
And it was probably more so to get Toni Storm on this card so that people who bought tickets who like Toni Storm get to watch her. I mean,
she moves so much merch. Like, I would put her on the card too, you know.
She's genuinely the best character worker in wrestling right now. Like, it's just perfect stuff she's got going on. I think this match the next match you could argue is match of the night, FTR versus Brodito. I'm just such a sucker for FTR. I think you're getting there now too, huh?
I am. I watch it through the lens of knowing you're a big fan, so I have a little more investment in it. And honestly, great match. It was the freaking spike pile driver on the apron. That boy's too big to be taking that. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't like seeing big men fall on their heads just because we've seen what happened to Big E. We've seen what happened to Steve. I just cringe a little bit, you know. It was a great match. They all they all were like, "Yo, we're turning it up tonight, right? All right, we're
Uh-huh.
turning it up." You know, it was a great match. FTR, I'm hopping on the bandwagon.
And I also liked, I usually don't like, but I liked the kicking out of the finishers in this match because it kind of felt like we knew Brodito was going to lose. So, like, if they did all the kicking out and they won, it'd be like, all right, like Brodito Hogan. But I think this is perfect because I think we're still going to get banger tag team matches from FTR. And I think this is setting up Bandito to be elevated into that main event scene, especially with the Continental Classic coming up. Bandito has to be a part of that.
Yeah, and they were selling the injuries too, like
Yeah.
in the match to kind of protect themselves. Kind of like what they should have done with Darby and Pac. Like they sold the injuries better there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I liked it, and they're all tough guys. That's the thing though, is that like there's some gimmicks like Ricochet kicking out of a bunch of finishers wouldn't make any sense to me because that's not his character. But FTR and Rodita, like both of them, kicking out of a bunch of finishers. They're all tough. They're strong style. You know what I mean? They're known to take punishment. Like Darby Allin's gonna kick out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn's gonna kick out a lot of stuff just because that's their gimmick is that they're tough. You knew that Cactus Jack was gonna kick out of your finishers. I think Cactus Jack was like one of the first guys to really kick out of the Tombstone. Like it's just those things that it fits their gimmick. I don't have an issue with the kick out fest. Especially since that wasn't really the case in the rest of, at least not in full AEW fashion. It was, but
Yeah.
there were finishers that were kicked out of later on in the card, but it wasn't as blatant as it usually is, to be fair.
No, 100%. Yeah, I thought. I mean, would you say this was match of the night, or would you go with a different one?
Dude, Kyle O'Reilly and Mox was really good.
It was so good. It was so good.
So was Mark Briscoe and Freaky Fletcher. So was like that's the thing though, is that they were all really good for their own reasons. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to say match of the night. I think match of the night has for me is always going to be a singles match. Just because tag matches kind of get a little wonky here and there. I mean, Hangman versus Samoa Joe was so good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think I would give it to Mark Briscoe and Freaky Fletcher. I think their match was great.
For me,
he's just like backyard wrestler vibes. I don't know. Mark Briscoe just
so
I don't know what
sick.
it is.
I'm glad you're on the train not to. For me,
it is fucked up teeth, dude.
A singles match will always be match of the night unless FTR is on the card. That's just the rules. FTR for me was match of the night on this card.
Hey, fair enough. Honestly, I understand what you mean too. I mean, they're all up there. There's only slivers of things that are separating them.
Yeah, and this was something. So I just finished watching this, and then we jump into recording. This was something I didn't see any online reactions to. So I might be jumping the gun by saying this was some of the best wrestling, but I'm glad you're with me on this because it hasn't and when I'm looking at these matches now, because I pulled it up on Wikipedia just so we don't miss anything, I'm like geeking thinking about some of the shit I watched. But the next match, and this also has an argument for match of the night, was the Casino Gauntlet match. I mean,
it was so crazy.
I'm guessing this is your first time watching this format.
I've never seen a Casino Gauntlet match.
What do you think?
I can see how it's alluring to you can really change the pacing every time you have one of these. And this one was ended earlier than I thought it would. And down the line, there's going to be stories about there's storylines that are going to come out of it that are like, yeah, I was going to come out, I would have beat your ass. You know what I mean? Like I was set up, I was coming out next. I would have done this, I would have done that. You know what I mean? And like you have all these characters that like there's a lot of routes you can go with it. I really like I really, really like it. But wish it went a little longer, even if it was just going to be like maybe one more person, just so we can see more of the build. But I liked it. I really, really liked the match. The fact that I forgot who took the pin at the end, but took like 3 finishers, and then Rick came in, and then
was it her?
I don't remember. It was so fast that I just was like.
Kevin Knight, who I love too. Kevin Knight is so good.
And he took 3 finishers, I think. So he was protected too. He didn't look like shit in the end either. Actually, no, he didn't. He delivered his finisher, and then right when he popped up, it was that's what it was. Actually, I don't know.
Oh, he hit that. That move is so disgusting. It's like a frog splash, but you're like rotating your body in the air. I don't know how. It just doesn't even clock.
Yeah, he kind of like jumps.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know. Yeah, it was really sick. And then Ricochet came in with his God's God's promise, whatever, whatever the dagger of God, God's dragon dildo, whatever his finisher is.
It was dragon something. I have no clue. But what I loved watching the two like matches, I guess I would love to see from this. Cesaro versus Ricochet when they were in the ring together was fucking ridiculous. Like
They're the best workers in there.
Yeah, it just had no business being that good. And I don't think we're gonna get this match because they were a tag team. But when Kevin Knight and Speedball were fighting, and Speedball hit him with the super kick, and he just like throws back, kind of hit the Matrix on him. That was so nasty. I would love to see a full 30, 35 minutes from either of those.
Yeah, you know that they would do a good match. They would. And this new heel persona that's working for Ricochet with that and Cesaro's the freaking you do it really well too. It's so good. It works. He leans into the cringe. It's like that's honestly Tommy Invincible. The thing is, he's chronically online. There's a chance he might see this. Tommy Invincible, if for some reason you see this, take that gimmick whenever you go heel. That would work really well for you.
And also
also come on the show. Hey, you wanna deliver any move you want to? I'll just beat me up. If you just I don't know, whatever you want to do. You can hit me with the "you can't hurt me."
And John Cena did shout you out, Tommy Invincible. I believe. Shout out Tommy.
He was actually on AEW too. Did you see him? He was holding the title,
right? With Mercedes Moné.
In the entrance.
I thought I saw him, but then I seen another guy with chest tattoos, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just tripping." Like it's just like I'm just seeing things, you know. But I'm glad you pointed that out because I didn't know.
Yeah, no, he was holding the title. Congrats, dude. That's crazy. Someone that started on TikTok is now leading to him being on AEW TV. I wish him all the best in the world.
Yeah, facts. Did you have anything else?
One of my match of the nights is next, by the way. I'm really excited about this one.
Let's jump.
I know you didn't like the fork though.
Because I hate the fork. The fork, I hate watching the fork. And it was so involved in this match, but it's just such a cheap way to get them juicing, you know? Like, I just would rather see them beat the fuck out of each other. And they still did that. And that's why this match delivers. Kyle O'Reilly, man, like, shout out Jon Moxley because he just built a superstar out of nowhere. Kyle O'Reilly was a guy just thrown in the Undisputed Era. And he's just like the fourth option there. And now it feels genuinely like I wouldn't be mad if he main evented a show. Kyle O'Reilly versus Samoa Joe would be a banger. I don't think we'd get that, but
yeah, no, we're not going to get it before Samoa Joe's gone. But
yeah, I think we're going to get an amazing performance by him in the Continental Classic. They built up so many of their guys for this Continental Classic, and I think Kyle O'Reilly is just another one of those names for it. But yeah,
Kyle's great, dude.
Yeah,
he's great. I thought the reason why this was one of my matches of the night is that we haven't seen Moxley work like that in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kyle O'Reilly's so technical and fast and kicks, kind of like almost like Cesaro meets Daniel Bryan WWE Daniel Bryan with the kicks and everything, and then the hand fighting and the grabbing the wrists, and then the more shoot catch style wrestling. Like, it was really cool to see. Like you said, you like a wrestler with like energy, explosivity, aggression, and Kyle O'Reilly does all that stuff really, really well. And he's also a good actor too. Sorry, he has good psychology. Like it's all very, very good. And yeah, you're right. Moxley was just like, how am I going to put this kid over in the best way possible? Moxley only puts people over when it really, really matters too. And you can tell they're cooking up something big for the Death Riders. I wouldn't be surprised if the next pay-per-view is mostly around that story. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I thought the match was great. The fork stuff was crazy. The marks on Moxley's back and everything at the end of the match and all of that. It's like, and him sitting there like being the guy at the party, like, yeah, guys, and everyone hates him. And he's just not getting it. Like, it's so funny. Like you can see it, you know, AEW is a little too obvious about it. In my opinion, I think they could play it a little more subtle because unless they're going to do like a New Day swerve where we thought it was going to be Kofi and Xavier against each other, but the swerve was they actually joined against Big E when we thought it was just going to be Xavier. Maybe they're doing that where it's like a double swerve where like I don't know.
Think of
Maybe
the
they're
story.
messing
I
with
think
us.
it
They're
depends
pulling our attention one way, very
because
obviously, and I don't know if it's a swerve.
not to spoil too much, but the main event did the opposite of that. So there is kind of I think there is a balance of that, with the stuff with
Mhm.
Hook in the main event. Um,
Yeah,
but
exactly. The swerve with Swerve and Hook and everything like that too.
yeah,
Like they did three. They did a heel turn and then a face turn
yeah.
and
So,
two returns. So like, there's a lot going on.
but I agree with you on this match. I'm such a geek, and I think I said this last week when they were beating down on Kyle O'Reilly. I'm screaming Adam Cole at my screen. I wanted Adam Cole to come back. That's all I want, man.
You saw
It's
the update though on his injury, right?
no, I didn't. Oh, with Tony Khan? Yeah,
How he
I
talked
did.
about Adam Cole and
I
everything. Yeah,
saw that.
like it's just not looking great.
And I thought that was a swerve. I was hoping that it was a swerve. I thought he was swerving
Tony
there. I'm like,
Khan is too I don't know, he's too Mark Zuckerberg and too like, you know what I mean? To play it that good.
I love
He's
him.
not a good actor. He's not a good actor at all. He's not.
No.
That's how I know. It's like, you know, when he's bullshitting because he kind of gets a little Mitch McConnell. You know what I mean? Like he kind of
Yeah.
sits back, like he kind of just gets very like deer in headlights. Yeah, he gets very babyface Ricochet very quick. Um, when
Yeah,
he's
no.
trying to do the kayfabe storyline stuff, I was like, he's not lying. Because Adam Cole's in a hot storyline at the time. They wouldn't have if unless it was really bad. They would have kept him even on TV if they knew it wasn't just done.
Yeah, I know. And
You know what I mean?
it just makes me so sad because it's just not in his control. And we lost like one of the best wrestlers ever over something that just sucks. It really just sucks. But I don't want to take away from this match. And I thought when Moxley went back in the ring and started beating up Kyle O'Reilly, that was going to be the Death Rider's turn on Moxley. But we just
That's why I think it might be a swerve. Because like, why didn't they just do it then if they're so obvious about it?
I
They're
think
really they're focusing so hard on making sure every single person in the audience is like it's going this direction. You know what I mean? And then again, maybe I'm giving them more credit than they're due, because AEW isn't exactly 100% hit rate when it comes to delivering on some of these big moments. Like maybe it's just kind of being obvious about it. Like when Batista was going to turn on Triple H in Evolution, it was super obvious. Everyone knew, but for some reason Triple H and Ric Flair and everyone didn't. And when they turned, it was like give the thumbs up and then the thumbs down. I don't know. It seems a little obvious to me, but the obvious choice sometimes is just the best choice, anyways. So
yeah, I'm cool with them dragging it out a bit just to see where it goes because I do think there still is stuff to figure out. Like if they break up the Death Riders, is Marina Shafir the leader or is she still with Moxley? I think just give it like a little bit. I think if this drags out past the end of 2025, I'll feel a type of way about it. But I'm cool with like the slow burn of this. Um, let's go to Mark Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher. They did dead ass rattled off like 4 straight 5-star matches, and Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher
in
was no
different styles
different.
too.
Yeah, this was like you said, backyard wrestling 101. I was so happy that Mark Briscoe won because he's my guy. That froggy elbow off the ladder where Kyle Fletcher just jumps to take it was just so perfect. It was just so good. All the tack spots, the chairs,
So
when
many tables.
he flips him into the table because Don Callis distracts him. The screwdriver when he put the screwdriver through the man, amazing match. It was
Ugh,
just chef's kiss, man.
ugh, ugh. Grossed me out in a good way.
Uh,
Mark Briscoe, who would have thought some like freaking hick backyard wrestler is like one of the best workers, and that's a compliment. His gimmick is great. Um, I don't know. And Freaky Fletcher, how young? Yeah, he's young.
he's under 30. I know that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he's got a long career ahead of him. Yeah, great match, great match.
Great match. He's 26, bro. It's fucking insane.
He's 26. What man? We could see him in WWE someday, which I don't think he needs to. I think AEW is a totally viable career path nowadays. But seeing
Yeah,
him in WWE would be
pay
interesting
the man.
someday. Freaky Fletcher, man, the goat.
I hope they pay him because he should be main eventing shows at some point. Like we still haven't
Mhm.
explored like Kyle Fletcher Swerve, Kyle Fletcher, Osprey always hits. Where do you? I mean, how tapped in are you? Where do you think this goes with Mark Briscoe now? Because I don't think it's gonna. involve the Don Callis family anymore. And
I think we're gonna get something completely new. I don't know though, but I think we're gonna get something new from Mark Briscoe. Him holding gold and everything like that is great. Um, but I don't know. I think this is an opportunity to not everything needs to tie into each other. When you have a title, that alone is enough for someone to come challenge you, even if you don't know him. So I think it's an opportunity to go a new direction with Mark Briscoe. Put someone interesting in there, like who would be interesting? Like a
that's
big
what
man,
I
maybe.
don't know who. Maybe that you go Bobby Lashley or like Shelton. You give it that angle, but I just think he loses those matchups if you give him that.
Yeah, he more believably beat Shelton than Bobby. Bobby just squashed Rick. So it was like one of those things that like I don't know. I don't know where Mark Briscoe goes with this. I don't think he has it very long though.
Maybe MJF, but I think MJF when he
I don't
comes
know if
back.
I need to see that match.
There was great matches, but we've seen I think 2 of them this year, 3 of them this year. I really don't fucking know where they go with this. Maybe Chris Jericho's return. I could see that.
That would be a good match.
Yeah, I think
Work a slower match.
that's like the only thing that makes sense that I'm looking at here, like a heel that
Mhm.
would work. Because I don't think it goes to family. Maybe it's a Death Rider, but who fucking knows? But yeah, I mean, Mark Briscoe is one of the best workers in wrestling, man. Just
Next
simple.
was Statlander Monet and Mercedes Monet, and honestly, another yawn. It was a good match, but just
Just not for me,
didn't
man.
stand
Both,
out.
both of these wrestlers are like maybe I mean wrestling's so subjective, but I just don't see the hype for either of these people. Like Mercedes Monet obviously is a good worker and her character's fun and stuff like that, but it's just not at the level where I need to see her with 14 belts. Like I think Tony Storm would be doing this gimmick way better than her. You could say a Tony Storm Hollywood World Tour.
Actually, yeah, that would be a great gimmick for her.
Like I just don't need to see
Um,
it. And same thing with Statlander. I just don't see the hype with her. I much prefer Megan Bayne over Statlander.
yeah, I just thought the match was good. I don't really care about uh I really don't care about the storyline right now though. You're right though, like Ultimo Storm would be sick.
This was the
Like
second
if she had
second
all the
longest
titles.
match on the card.
I think this is all building the second longest match on the card is what you just said.
Yeah.
That has no business being the second longest match on the card.
No.
I fast forwarded through well like I watched it on like 2 times speed.
I skipped it. I watched the first 10 minutes and I was like, this isn't for me. And then I skipped to the ending.
It was a traditional wrestling match. They didn't do anything wrong. You know, it's just when you're surrounded by Freaky Fletcher and Samoa Joe, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to stand out. I think this is obviously building to maybe a big match where she puts all of her titles up at
For the
once
world
and then
title.
loses all of them at once,
It could be for the
which
world
I
title.
think that would be legendary.
I think so too. I think this match would have hit differently if it opened the show. And then you move Pac to the spot, and then it would just be all bangers the rest of the show. Because we did miss the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander defeating Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express. And this match was cool for the workers. I would have expected a little bit better, but it was really more of a storyline building to the Elite returning. More importantly, though, what I'm more excited about, and I think we'll have a full episode on this, the Continental Classic is shaping up to be the best ever. I mean, Okada's obviously going to be in it because he's the champion. Takesha's now going to be in it. Fletcher's going to be in it. I think Bandito's going to be in it. I think Kyle O'Reilly's going to be in it.
Maybe Chris Jericho if he comes back and that's the route they go with him. Which
Yeah,
I think he'll go straight into a storyline. I don't think he's going to do one of these open-ended competitions. You know what I mean? I think he's too old to be like not choosing his storyline specifically, unless it sprouts into that. You know,
I think he won't be in it because it starts next week, and I don't think Chris Jericho's coming back next week. I feel like we'd be hearing a little bit more about him before
he
he
looks
came
like
back.
he's in good shape. I mean, in relative terms to him, um, that's not.
The beer belly's on or what?
He's so fat, but he has an 8 pack.
Yeah,
Like it makes no sense to me. It's like someone needs to poke him with a needle on the side, and you'll be like ripped. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
don't know. I
But
don't
I mean,
know,
that's
but
what I'm more so
he's great.
excited about coming out of this match. Even more, I just because I wasn't watching AEW when the
Mhm.
Elite were around, so I didn't get the pop for that. And this one was kind of predictable, but still a good match nonetheless. And now we get to the main event, and I think I don't know how to feel. The match was amazing. Okay, we can start with that. Joe versus Hangman Page. Joe wins the title. I'm happy that Joe won the title. I like the angle of Hangman's a fighting champion, so he fights every week, so he's beat up, so he loses the title. I just like that shit. I think the aftermath I don't like. I think that's where I'm at. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it with my chest.
You
And
don't like the Swerve Strickland angle?
I love Swerve. Swerve is one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. I don't ever want to see him and Hangman teaming up. They just should be generationally hating each other. I think that's what it should be. I would have loved to see Swerve join the Ops instead of what
This should be Matt Hardy and Edge. This should be
I'm thinking
Randy Orton
Stone
and
Cold.
John Cena's dad. Yeah, like just on site. Yeah, I understand your perspective there. Seeing Swerve Strickland be a good guy just doesn't really feel that good.
Yeah,
It honestly, actually, I mentioned Randy Orton and John Cena's dad being lifelong rivals as a joke, but like Randy Orton is one of those people too that I don't really like as a babyface.
I don't
Um,
either.
like he's a good babyface. He does the job well and does like if you're in the arenas, everyone's gonna pop for him even if he's a heel no matter what. It's kind of like the John Cena effect, where they'll boo him when they need to because the audience plays along more in the theater of it all than they used to. You used to have to genuinely get those reactions out of people. Now audience kind of knows how to lead the dance. Follow the dance a little better. Um, I understand what you mean by that, actually. Yeah, like I would rather see Swerve as a bad guy. I mean, it would have been a really interesting angle if he beat the fuck out of the Ops and then they're standing there and then Swerve just kicks Hangman in the head. He's
Would
like,
have
still
loved it.
fuck you. You know
Would
what I
have loved
mean? It's like you're sitting there standing tall and then he just cracks him and then beats him up too. And he goes, hey, this is personal between me and them for some reason, him and Samoa Joe. Maybe it's about the title.
that.
You know
Could
what
have
I
been
mean?
literally like it made
Maybe
sense
it's
at
about
all.
the title, and it's like, hey, I'm
It,
beating you up too because this isn't about me teaming with you. This is me beating up Samoa Joe, getting a jump on the Ops because I want that title. I don't give a fuck about you. And then to get to the title, maybe they have the team for Swerve to get to the title. So it's kind
no,
of that buddy.
it just
That
shouldn't be. They
I'm
hate
saying,
it,
like, if they really want to go that route, they
but
want to see what
They did
Swerve
it
and Hangman
already.
does.
They did it already
When they
at
did
All
it,
In.
oh, they
At,
totally did, leading up to their feud.
no, I'm saying at All In, having Swerve come out and win or help Hangman win the title made more sense because Moxley was holding it hostage. Joe just won the title, and now it's like we should all hate the Ops. Come on, man. The Ops. I love the Ops. I love Joe. I love Hook. They're just not that big of a threat to be like we need Hangman and Swerve to come together to beat them. That's how I feel.
Yeah,
That I
I
love it.
hear you.
I love Swerve coming back. I don't know if I love the new theme song just because I love the bro catch a vibe, and we're not getting that anymore.
Didn't Swerve and Hangman have to team up in between their first and second matches? Or not team up, they had to like work together for a second. Am I mixing a storyline up?
I think All In. I know All In. They teamed up. It was like the whole thing. Osprey got them together so that they could dethrone Moxley, but I don't need to
If
see it.
Swerve should have stayed opposite of Hangman, I agree with you there. And maybe we'll still see that. Maybe he's gonna try and then they'll explore that later and be like, yeah, no, actually fuck you. And like they kind of retcon it. Um I thought the match was incredible. Samoa Joe
Yeah,
works better than most rosters on the planet right now. Like he's incredible. I know he's probably going to be retiring soon, but he could probably go for another 10 years, honestly, and still work.
yeah,
I think he's the fact that he can do commentary, the fact that he can do interviews, the fact that he can book matches, be a producer as well as work still is insane. Um, and the ops, the like the
Dojo.
apprentices, dude, the dojo, yeah, they don't know. That was horrible, dude. Their selling is so bad. Like I hate the when you see someone standing there vamping for a spot. You know what I mean? It's
And
like
that was a new thing. They've never done that before. The dojo thing. I've never seen that before with them.
it was so bad. Like Swerve was like trying his best to look strong, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna, oh, I got hit! Oh, my God." You know, it's like they just look so stupid. And I'm like, guys, there's ways to do it to like justify the acting of why aren't you running forward? Think about that. You know, you have to like create a reason. I don't want to run forward because I know I'm going to get beat up. So you got to look strong and be peacocking, but for some reason you're not coming forward. Like you don't just like sit there with the blank face, like trying to remember what the spot is. You know what I mean? It's like because that's what it is. He's like, who's gonna get hit right now? Who's gonna get hit right now? Who's gonna get hit right now? Is it me? It's like the thinking faces were on, and I don't know. It really brought me out of it. It was like I was like, oh my goodness, dude, they're not doing they're doing Swerve dirty right now. But once he cleared them all out, and that poor dude he kicked in the fucking back of the head,
House
that was a
call.
receipt. I don't care at all. That was a receipt.
No,
I think
that move
Swerve
is
was
just
like,
that nasty. It just looks like that with everybody. It's such. He hit it on Marina Shafir one time.
hits him in the head. It's not. There's no gimmick to that. He's just kicking
No.
you in the back of the fucking head.
So disgusting. But I think when the lights went out, I thought someone was gonna be in the Ops Dojo shirt, and like that was gonna be the big reveal. Like I thought, like Swerve would have been an Ops Dojo. I thought that's where they were going with it because they never done the dojo thing, so it would have made sense. But I guess it was just to make Swerve look strong and set up.
Swerve has an off shirt on. He takes it off. It's an off shirt, like Sting.
So they did Swerve versus Hangman versus Joe. I want to say around this time last year, maybe 2 years ago. And it was an amazing match. So maybe that's where they're going with it again. But I'm just curious where MJF plays in all this because he still has like that Money in the Bank contract. Yeah, I mean, all in all, though, this was an amazing show, 5-star show. I would probably rewatch this time and time again. Any final thoughts from you?
No, I think Full Gear cleared all wrestling, even with the John Cena stuff, even with everything. I think when it comes to quality of production and storylines paying off, I think AEW cleared WWE in quality this week.
Yeah.
In quality, I mean, I think WWE had higher highs. That's always how it is. WWE has the crazier moment
This week,
but like when it comes to quality,
what
this week, I mean, John Cena in a triple threat match in MSG is crazy. A three-way tag match is crazy. I think that's probably for me the highest high. Getting a 15 knuckle shuffle, which is hilarious. The fact that we've never really seen that before. He's like, let's just do this because I'm on this. I guarantee the last match was set up because they had that spot in mind, and they were like, we need to have a three-way match.
I don't think that feels cheap. Like these felt more built up, well played.
To be fair, I just started watching AEW like 2 months ago. Okay. You know what I mean? Like when Swerve returned, I'm like, I just saw Swerve Strickland recently. You know what I mean? For me, like I just saw him recently, and like I'm just starting to like these characters. I'm not bought in as much yet. Like as in my emotional investment's not there yet. However, FTR winning, I popped. I was like, I can't wait to hear what Anthony says about this. You know what I mean? I was like, I knew.
That's all we got to end off with, man. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Run the Play Wrestling, This Week in Wrestling. Again, just want to remind you guys that a singles match will always be match of the night unless FTR is on the card. We out. Bow. Come on, man. Dude, I missed my fucking mouse.